Hello friends, and welcome back to You Can Yoga Too. Today we're going to be working on building strength toward our Warrior Two. Now in our Warrior Two, it's considered a beginner pose, but there's a lot to it, and it requires a lot of strength and stability in the shoulders, in the hips, in the legs. So we're going to work on strengthening and stretching the muscles that are going to make your Warrior Two a little more comfortable, a little more sustainable, and hopefully we're going to get strong, and then your Warrior Two won't be as challenging. So we're going to bring the hands to the thighs and just take a few breaths to ground down. Close your eyes, focusing on the breath. Pressing the outer world away and bringing the inner world to the forefront of your thoughts. Shifting from focusing on other people's energy and problems into noticing your breath, your body. How does your body feel today? And what does it need? And then we'll gently blink the eyes open, and we'll start with a little shoulder warm-up. So inhaling the arms up, and exhale, press down. Twice more like this. Inhale, build a little of your own resistance. Exhale, press it down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, press. And this time, inhale, reach. And now we'll bring the right hand down. The left hand comes over. So big side body stretch here. And then inhale, bring it back to center, reach up. Left hand comes down, reach over with the right hand to breathe into the side body. And then press off that left hand to come back to center, reach it up. And then that left hand's gonna come to the right knee. Right hand comes behind. So you're gonna bring your right hand right to the base of your spine, make a little tent out of your fingertips. As you inhale, press to sit up tall, and exhale, take a little twist. And as you twist on the inhales, we lengthen up like you're trying to boop your head on the ceiling. And then on the exhales, we let go and relax a little more into the twist. And inhale back to center, and then we'll go to the other side. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, right hand comes to left knee, left hand comes behind. We inhale through the fingertips and exhale into our twist. Twisting right from the core, right from the belly. Awesome job. And then we'll unwind, come back to center. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, fold forward. Any amount, hinging from the hip creases. Relax the head. And then gently walking the fingertips in. And sitting up tall, we're going to come around to our tabletop pose on hands and knees for our cat-cows. So on your inhale, you're going to pull the hands back, scoop the chest forward, reach up with the chest and the tailbone. And then on the exhale, we tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, press the floor away. Round Halloween kitty cat spine. So moving like that with your breath, inhaling chest forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. And then come back to our neutral spine. And we're going to move into a bit of a balancing table here. So we're going to press the right toes back. And then on the inhale, we're going to lift that right leg up toward the ceiling. So pulling the belly in, kicking that right leg back, and then exhale, bring it down. And then we'll go to the other side. So sliding the left toes back behind you. Inhale, lift that leg up. So we're going to really flex the foot And the toes are going to be pointed straight back toward the earth. Reach it back, lengthen, lengthen, and then exhale, bring it down. And now we're going to do the hands. So on the inhale, you're going to reach the left arm forward. Breathe, lengthen it away from the tailbone, and then exhale down. And then other side, we're going to lift that right hand out just like you're trying to grab my hand. Trying not to tense up in the neck. And then exhale down. And now we're going to kick the right toes back. We're going to walk those left fingertips forward and either stay here, lift the hand or the foot, or lift the hand and the foot. Big breath in. Lengthen, lengthen. Toes away from fingertips. And then exhale, bring it down. And right away we'll go to the other side. So those left toes kick back. The right arm reaches forward. Remember, you can keep everything on the floor, lengthening here. So remember, as I give these modifications, one pose isn't better than the next. They're all just options. It's all whatever suits your body. And inhale one more time to lengthen. And then exhale, bring it down. All right, and one more little strengthening exercise here. On the inhale, you're going to lift the right hand out to the side. And then exhale down. Shift the weight slightly to the right, keeping the rest of your body as still as you can, lifting that left hand up off the ground. And exhale down. So as you inhale, you lift the arm up. And as you exhale, place that hand down. Pulling the belly in, going from side to side. You could have the arm stretched out long or a little saguaro cactus arm, whichever feels better for you. Just building strength in that upper body. And one more on each side. Lift it up. Exhale it down. Last one, lift it up. Exhale it down. Press back, child's pose. And remember, child's pose is always here for you if you need a break. You get too hot, you can't breathe. Take those breaks. And then inhale back up to table. And we're going to come into our downward facing dog. So spreading the fingers nice and wide, gripping into the mat, tucking the toes. We'll press up and back into our downward facing dog. So stretching through the shoulders and the upper back, trying to bring those ears between the biceps and then shaking the head out, letting it go. You can paddle the feet here. Whatever you need to do to make your down dog your own. And then we'll walk the feet up to the hands for our first forward fold. So you can grab opposite elbows here. You can keep the knees soft, shaking that head out. I have really tight hamstrings, so my knees are bent a lot, and that is okay. And then start to power up through the legs. As you roll up to stand, go nice and slow, letting the head hang, letting the arms hang. And shoulders come back. And palms shine forward into our mountain pose. And we're just going to take a few half sun salutations here to finish out our warm-up. So soft knees. We'll inhale up and exhale, fold forward. So hinging from those hip creases, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Press through the feet, come all the way up to stand. Reach up, look up, gather that energy, and then bring it back to your heart. And we're going to do that again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time we're going to drop the hips, lift the toes off the mat, shift the weight into the heels, and lift up into our chair pose. Big breath here, shifting the weight into the heels. And then inhale, reach up, and hands to heart center. One more time, adding in that chair pose. So this time as you inhale, we'll drop the hips, lift the arms, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Drop the hips, reach the hands, chair pose. And then on your next inhale, straighten the legs, reach up, maybe look up, and then exhale, hands to heart center. And now we're going to take it to the long side of the mat, bringing the feet out nice and wide, turning the toes gently in toward one another, pressing into the outer edges of both feet, strong through the legs. We're going to bring the hip creases, hands to the hip creases. We're going to power up through the legs, keeping the knees soft, and then we're going to fold forward, hinging from the hips, chest first. So see, I'm still looking up at you, and then at the end, we fold forward. Hinging from the hips. You can bring the forearms to the thighs, resting here. You can grab a block, bring it underneath you. So firming through the legs while we stretch. And then on your inhale, we'll come halfway up, look up, and then squeeze the legs together to come the rest of the way up. Hands come to the hips, heels come in, toes point out now. We're going to come into our goddess or our horse pose. So I'm going to bring my hands to the tops of my thighs and start to drop the hips down in space. Now the main thing here is we don't want our knees to be collapsing in. We want to keep the knees open and pressing toward the pinky toe side of the foot. And again, this is a choose your own adventure. So your hips will tell you how low you want to go, okay? We're going to press the hands together and really press and squeeze to activate the pectorals and keep breathing. When it gets hard, breathe deeper. Big breaths into the belly. And inhale, come up, reach up, separate the hands, big 5-pointed star pose, look up. Breathing, letting that go. Amazing job. And one more time, we're going to bring the hands together and exhale. Open the knees, squeeze into the legs. This is our goddess or our horse pose. If you need more support, you can bring the hands to the thighs. You don't have to go as low as I am. Or if you're feeling crazy, you can go lower. Remember, this is your practice. Just keep breathing. And inhale. Reach up, straighten the legs. Open the arms, spread the fingers, look up. And then bring the hands to the hips. We're going to heel toe the feet back together and then come back down to the mat. So we're going to start on our left side, strengthening into the hips and the glutes and those supporting muscles in our warrior two that we might not be hitting all the time in everyday life. So you can bring your left hand under your head for support, or you can just lay that right ear right down on it. I'm going to use this right hand to help with my balance, as well as pulling in my core. And the feet aren't straight out from the hips. You want to bring them in a little bit. Okay? I'll scooch back a little bit so you can see me. And then with the heel, first, we're going to inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, bring it down. So like I said, as we lift, we're going to move with our breath. And we're going to try and lift from the heel. So the heel is going to gently tilt toward the ceiling as we lift. So squeezing into those legs. Oh, my hip popped. There it goes. And you can go as slow or as fast as you'd like. You can do as many of these or as little of these as you choose. And then next time you have that leg up, stay up and we're going to do little pulses. So heel first, squeezing. This is challenging. I know, keep breathing. I know you can do this. Just a little bit more. You got this. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then exhale, bring it down. Awesome job. And now we're going to bend into both knees. Keeping the big toes together, we're going to do some clamshells. So keeping those toes together, on your inhale, you're going to lift the right knee up and exhale down. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. So again, this is a little tiny movement, working into those little supporting muscles. Really squeeze into this because it's such a small movement. You can really squeeze. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling it. I'm going to have a super strong warrior 2. And one more. Oof. And go ahead and bring it down. And we're going to roll over onto our bellies. Taking our crocodile pose arms. So stacking the hands like a little pillow. Doesn't that sound lovely? It is lovely. But it's going to be a little challenging before it's lovely. So pointing the toes back behind us, keeping the legs straight and strong but not locked. On the inhale, we're going to press the pelvis into the mat and lift the legs off the ground into a half locust. So you're spinning your inner thighs up toward the ceiling, squeezing into the glutes in the back of the legs. And either stay right here, or option 2, you could open the legs up on your inhale and then close the legs on the exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. So again, you don't have to add this movement. You could try one or none, but just keep breathing. One more if you added the movement. And then inhale, squeeze, and exhale down. Whew. Awesome job, you guys. Those are hard. All right, and then just roll over to your right side. And we'll take that little sequence on the second side. You're doing so awesome. So same thing here. Make sure your head's supported. You might need to put a little padding under this hip if you have a really hard floor or a hard mat. And then same thing. Heel first. We're going to inhale, lift, and exhale down. Inhale, lift, exhale it down. So moving with the breath, strengthening those muscles. Beautiful warriors. We're going to get there together. And one more time, inhale, lift, and then little tiny pulses. Up, 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 up. Keep going. Squeeze. Heel first. Pull the belly in. You got this. I know you're like, Katie, it's starting to burn. I know, but you're doing so good. Just a couple more. And exhale, bring it down. Awesome. All right, and then we'll bend those knees. Bring the big toes together. We're going to take those little clamshell leg lifts. So inhale, lift the knee up. Exhale down. Inhale, open and squeeze. Exhale down. Inhale, squeeze. Don't you feel like Ariel doing your little clamshells? You're like, no, I hate you. That's okay. You're allowed. I know you don't mean it. I know it's hard, but keep breathing. Take those breaks when you need to, and challenge yourself when you need to. Your body will tell you what to do. One more lift and squeeze. Whew, and exhale. Let it go. We'll use our hands to press back up to our tabletop pose. And we're going to take a little low lunge. So we're going to bring that left foot forward in between the hands. Make sure the knee is stacked over the ankle, extending that right leg back. Toe is not tucked. If you want it tucked, go for it. Up to you. We're going to interlace the fingers and press that thigh away to come up into our low lunge. Squeezing the legs toward each other. Nice strong foundation. Torso is coming up and reaching up toward the ceiling. And now you can keep the hands on the thigh, bring them to the hips, or reach up. Dropping the hips down low, but still staying strong. You can even gently lean back and look up a little if that feels good. And then slowly start to reach forward. Left hand comes to the thigh, right hand comes to the floor. We're going to press into that left thigh to twist over toward the left. And then reach that left arm up. You can always keep that left hand on the thigh if it feels better for your shoulder. Trying to keep this twist above the waist, so reaching out. Left hand is moving away from right hand is moving away from left. One more big breath in to lengthen, and then exhale, bring it back down. And now we're going to take both hands to the inside of the left foot to come into our lizard pose. So we're going to scooch that right toes back. Just make sure again that this left knee doesn't go over the left toes. A lot of times when people want to go deeper in lizard, they shift so far forward, and that's not going to feel as good, and your body's not going to like it so much. So from here, you can stay right here if this is enough, or you can take your block or your bolster, whatever you have for support, and bring your hands or your forearms to that. Just one important thing in our lizard pose, you stay there breathing, I'll just show you this. If your knee is in line with your toes, that's perfect. If your knee is sticking out like this, that's perfect too. Just make sure that your toes go in the same direction as your knee. The toes and the knees are friends. They like to go to the same places. They like to go in the same direction. And then breathe here, just letting the hips softly open up. Getting a little deeper into the pose with each breath. So with each breath, we want to let it go a little more. Relax the head. And then if you had your forearms down, come back to the hands. And then we're going to pop that leg back. You might want to do a couple hip circles here, or shake the leg out before we go to the other side. So starting with low lunge on the right, we're going to bring that right foot forward, interlace the fingers, and then press that thigh away. Press it away like you're mad at it, like you don't even want to look at it. Oh, see, that's why I have the wall there. Squeezing the legs toward each other, and then keeping the hands on the thigh. Bring them to the waist, or reach up. So again, pulling that right heel back toward the body. Remember to pat up that left knee if this causes you any pain. One more big breath in, look up, and then exhale. Start to reach forward. Right hand comes to the top of the thigh, left hand comes down to the floor. We're going to press into that right thigh to twist open. And then you can add that right hand. So this is our simple twist, creating length from right fingertips to left fingertips. And if it doesn't feel so good to look up at that right hand, you can just look forward. One more big breath in, stretch it out long. And then that right hand comes to the inside of the right foot, setting up for a lizard pose on the second side. So I'm going to scooch my left toes back until I feel that big opening in my hips. And then I'm just going to breathe here and then gently bend my elbows, lower down a little bit, and just see how it feels. Start to work into it. Remember, take a look at that knee. You might have to adjust your foot placement here. But letting go here. I'm going to bring my forearms down to my block. Making any necessary adjustments here. So this is one of those poses that you can play with. Can I go down to my forearms? Maybe not today. Can I bend my elbows a little? Where can I release something that I no longer need? And if you are on your forearms, come back to the hands and press into the hands to shift back. Oof. Get that right leg out of there. Strong hips. And then we're going to sit up for our downward facing dog. So spreading the fingers wide, tuck those toes, press up and back, stretch. Strong downward dog. And then we'll walk the feet up to the hands and then roll up to our standing mountain pose. And one more time, we're going to come to the long side of the mat, taking the feet out wide, and we're going to take our warrior two pose. So starting on the left, we'll turn the left toes out, pressing into the outer edge of the right foot. We'll sink into those hips, keeping this knee over the ankle, make sure it's not caving in, and then we'll add our super strong arms. So I'm going to ask here that you feel into this warrior two. So keep working that back foot and feel what might be a little stronger, what might be a little more open, what feels a little bit different as we move through this flow. Gazing off over those left fingertips, you're doing so good. And this is a lot of where that change happens, is when you're like, if Katie makes us hold this warrior two for one more breath, I'm going to die. You're not going to die. Promise. Take another big breath in. And then we straighten through the right leg. Bring the hands to the hips. Left toes come in. Right toes go out. And we're going to take it to the other side. So get that back foot, pressing into the outer edge. Bend into that right leg. And then add those arms. Straight and strong. Remember, we don't want noodle arms. These are warrior poses. Firm arms stretching out in both directions. Chest is open, shoulders are open, legs are firm and strong. Hips are open and feeling good. Holding strong in our warrior two. You got this, one more breath. And then we'll straighten through that right leg. Hands come to the hips. Turn all 10 toes to the long side of the mat. And then hinging from the hip creases, we're just going to fold down. And then we're going to come down to a seat. Woo! Like I said, warrior two is a powerful pose. So that was a very strong practice. You did so amazing. So we're going to take our wide seated straddle pose. So feet are still flexed. We're going to reach that right hand down toward the right foot and then take this left arm up and over. Big side body stretch here. So keeping this left shoulder pulling back and open. Moving into more of the stretching part of our practice, as opposed to all that super strengthening we just did. And then inhale back to center, and then we'll take it to the other side. So left hand slides down the left leg, right arm comes up and over. Feet are flexed, hips are firmly planted on the mat. And inhale back to center. And now we're going to turn and look at that right foot. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and then exhale, fold over the leg. So now we're folding forward as opposed to lateral. You can hold your thigh, you can hold your shin, you can grab a strap here if that feels good. Giving those legs a much deserved stretch. And inhale, come up with a nice long spine, and we'll turn and go to the second side. So there's a little twist here too, and then we lengthen the spine, and then exhale, fold over that left leg. Remember, we don't want to lock the knees. We never want to lock our joints out. We want to protect them. And while we can't really strengthen joints and tendons and things like that, we can strengthen the muscles around them to give them a little more support. And also stretch the muscles around them so they're more malleable. And then inhale, come up. I'm going to place my strap to the side. And then exhale, just walk the fingers forward here. I like to bring a block and put it under my head so I can really just let go and relax in this pose. 5 breaths here. Reconnecting with the mind and the body and the breath. As we move through our practice, we constantly want to check in. Where is my breath? Is it steady? Is it fluid? Where's my mind? Is it present in the moment on the mat? And where is my body at? Do I need a break or do I need a challenge? These are the parts of the practice that I can only guide you. But you have to figure out what's best for your body. And then slowly begin to walk the fingers in. And we'll come forward and back onto our backs. So you can even use your arms to pull the legs back in. Plant the feet. Roll down to your back. And then we'll heel toe the feet about as wide as the mat. And just do a few windshield wipers here. So let the knees flop to one side and then the other. And then one side and then the other. Until your legs start to straighten a little bit. And then straighten a little more. With each flop, let them get a little straighter until your legs are nice and straight. And then you're going to relax the feet, let those flop open. Let the hands flop open. Maybe throw a little blanket over you. Maybe put a pillow behind the knees. Maybe a nice scarf or an eye pillow over the eyes for our Shavasana. Now don't turn off the video and run away. Stay here for just a few minutes. I encourage you to stay as long as you can, reaping all the benefits of your strong Warrior II practice today. Remember, go with gratitude and lead with love always, my dear yogis. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And most importantly, thank you so much for letting me be your teacher. Have a beautiful day.